There is no elevator to success. One has to take the staircase. I wanted to do something much more. I felt that I wanted to do something that would create an impact in the society. For the first 6 months, guess what? We had zero sales. At that point of time, I was so demotivated. I decided to learn the ropes of the game myself. If you have an idea and if you're not going to implement it, somebody else will. And life is too short. If not now, when? There is no elevator to success. One has to take the staircase. Hi, I'm Sakshi Talwar, founder of Rugs and Beyond, and I'm here to share my entrepreneurial journey thus far and provide 6 lessons that I have learned during my entrepreneurial journey. So, let's begin with when I started Rugs and Beyond, which was way back in 2014. I still remember I was in the US and I moved to New York after I completed my MBA. And I was working in a 9 to 5 job. It was a great, cushy job. And while it was wonderful, however, I felt that there was something missing. I felt that I wanted to do something much more. I felt that I wanted to do something that would create an impact in the society. And a lot of times I questioned myself. I just thought, should I leave my job? Should I move back to India? And if I move back to India, what am I going to do? And at that point of time, I still remember I used to visit all these home decor stores and rug stores, and I used to see all these made in India products, which were being sold for almost 3 to 4 times the price. And at that point of time, I felt, what about all these weavers and artisans who are making all these products? And that's when I knew that I wanted to do something to empower these weavers. However, after I quit my job, I enrolled myself in an interior design course because that's what I've always been inclined towards. And after completing an interior design course, I moved back to India. But when I moved back to India, I was so lost. I just didn't know where to begin. I just thought that I know I have this idea, however, how am I going to implement it? So I contacted all these weavers, I contacted all the vendors, and the idea of Rugs and Beyond came up. However, it wasn't that easy. You had to trust your instinct and you had to trust your gut because we were faced with so many obstacles and so many challenges at that point of time. So the first important point I'm trying to make here is that trust your instinct and trust your gut. And with that being said, there were a lot of naysayers in the society. Everybody thought, what is this young girl doing in a male-dominated society, in a male-dominated industry, where there are only males working? And not just that, there was so much background noise and there was so much negativity, and there were so many people who were saying that who's going to buy these products online without touching and feeling it. But my dad was the biggest motivating factor. He told me to not give up, and it is because of him I had that indomitable spirit of never giving up. And I felt that I just have to listen to myself, I just have to trust myself, and I have to be confident. And I have to start Rugs and Beyond, which is what I wanted to do. So I created Rugs and Beyond, and we had all these vendors and weavers who we wanted to empower in rural northern India, which was wonderful. But at that point of time, when we were contacting all these website development companies to create our e-commerce store, we were literally being taken for granted. We were quoted these exorbitant prices, and people just wanted to take us for a ride, and I just wondered, who are all these people? Who are all these people who just want to take advantage of us? And I decided to learn the ropes of the game myself. I enrolled myself at that point of time in digital marketing classes, in website development classes, and I just learned everything and created everything on my own. And I didn't want to rely on anybody because guess what? Nobody is out there for you. You are just out there for yourself. And you have to do something which will be true to yourself, and you have to trust your instinct, which is so important. And when we created Rugs and Beyond, we faced so many obstacles. For the first 6 months, guess what? We had zero sales. Nobody, and at that point of time, I was so demotivated, and I felt that, am I doing something wrong? Am I doing something right? What do I do? How do we tweak our business model? What do we do? And so many people in the, in my circle were like, you know what? I don't think this is working out. Maybe you should just pack your bags and go back to the US. And guess what? Had I done that, I probably would not be here talking to you. So I didn't listen to anybody. I ignored everybody, and I tweaked our business model, and we just got the ball rolling. And when we were hiring people, I still remember, again, we faced a lot of challenges. We were not being able to hire the right people. And there was this one person who was working for us who was not being able to deliver. And when we fired him, he tried to act smart with us. He had some passwords of our accounts and he tried to tweak the passwords and change the passwords. And guess what? These people don't get anywhere. And we were able to recover everything. And now, of course, we are very cautious about everything. So the point here I'm trying to make here is that learn the ropes of your game and take charge and never give up, which is so important. And coming to that, in fact, when we were starting Rugs and Beyond, I still remember my dad was the biggest motivating factor, and he pushed me to my limits. And I still remember, even in school and college, when I would stand third or fourth in class, and I would be like, "Dad, I've come third or fourth." He'd be like, "That's great, but why haven't you come first?" And it is because of that which really pushed me to cross my limits and actually feel that, you know what, everything is possible. And the word impossible, as you all know, also says, "I'm possible," which is so true. And we are three sisters, and I'm the youngest. And I still remember that my mom used to tell me that after she had two daughters, it is at that point of time, when they found out that it's going to be another baby girl, all our relatives were like, "Oh, another daughter. You're not going to have a son. Who's going to take care of your business? Who's going to take care of your family? And why don't you get yourself aborted?" This is what my mom was told by all her relatives back then. At that point of time, my mom was very brave and she knew that this is not what she wants to do. And there was an inner voice that spoke to her, which said that, "Please don't kill me. I'm going to make you proud." And which is why I'm here and I'm talking to all of you. With that being said, it's so important to never stop learning. I staunchly believe that education never stops. Education is a lifelong process. And this is after I completed my studies. I was always, as a kid, involved in theater and something more creative and something that would just infuse my creativity. And in 2014, I just used to keep talking about how I want to take acting classes and how I want to be on theater and be on stage and everything. And that point of time, my dad gave me an ultimatum. He just said, "If you're serious about it, pack your bags and take acting classes and do something about it. And if you're not going to do anything about it, don't ever talk about it." And that really struck a chord with me. I literally just, left everything at that point of time and enrolled myself in acting classes, and I was auditioning extensively, and I had a wonderful time. I ended up shooting 2 short films, which I was part of in the US, and it was a wonderful opportunity. And here, what I'm trying to just tell you is that learning never stops. I don't mind doing, a course even when I'm 60 years old. I don't mind being the oldest person in the class because I feel that if I want to do something, and if I'm in a room where I'm the smartest person, I'm probably in the wrong room. So learning never stops. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. And this was recently, earlier this year when, again, I was in the US and we had a trade show for our business and I had some free time. And at that point of time, I just enrolled myself in filmmaking classes because I thought that, what? I like to tell stories. I want to do something where I can actually touch the lives of people by telling stories. And I didn't know how to make films. So I enrolled myself in filmmaking classes and it was a 3-week, very intensive program. And by the end of it, I ended up writing and directing 2 short films, which are now being submitted and shortlisted for film festivals. And it's been wonderful. And I feel that, learning never stops. So whether it was me enrolling for interior design classes or digital marketing classes or filmmaking classes, I just feel that you have to keep going. You cannot stop learning. Sometimes people are full of themselves and they feel that, what, we know everything. Guess what? You don't. You think you know, but you really don't. So it's so important to keep learning and to have that indomitable spirit of never giving up and keep learning and never stop educating yourself. That's so important. So with that being said, I think it's so important to give back to the society. So with Rugs and Beyond, of course, we didn't want to just be another online store making, money and just counting their profits at the end of the fiscal year. We wanted to do something that is more towards contributing to the society, which is why we're empowering our local weavers and artisans in northern rural India. I still remember a couple of months ago, I was in the villages in rural India. And, seeing all these happy faces of children, going to school and everything, I would just ask them, oh, so, when you grow up, jab aap bade hoenge, aapko kya banna hai? And it was so amazing to see all these kids had so many dreams. Somebody wanted to become a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher. And it's so wonderful to empower all these kids. So we've introduced a program called One Rug, One Child, wherein what we do is that for every product sold, we partially donate some of our sales to our weavers' children to uplift them for their children's education, which is what we're doing. And I feel that it's such a fulfilling feeling when you actually do such things, when you're actually thinking that you're actually not just selling products, you're actually making an impact in the society. I also would like to conclude that nurture your dreams and never give up. At the same time, make bold decisions. And if you have an idea and if you're not gonna implement it, somebody else will. And life is too short. If not now, when? Think about it. Thank you.
Tell us what you think about this video and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.